Now, first approach, sequential approach. Second one is selection approach. Third one is iterative approach. Iterative approach means same action you repeat number of times with or without change. If you take a real life example, you want to by heart a poem, you want to learn by heart a poem, then what you do? You recite it first time, second time, third time, fourth time. So at one point of time, at one iteration, you get a confidence, you memorize it, then you stop your iterations. This is called iterative approach. Suppose you have to pour 10 liters of milk in a vessel, but you have only 1 liter measurement vessel. Then what you do? You make the same action, you repeat the same action 10 times. You pour 1 liter of milk into a vessel 10 times, then your task is performed. This is iterative approach. In programming also, the same approach we have to follow. Suppose here the iteration may be with change or without change. Now you see, you want to print a multiplication table. 1 into 1 9 9, 2 9 18, 3 9 27, 10 9 90. Now you see, you are doing the iterations with a change. Where change is coming? There 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 10 you want. Up to 10 terms you want multiplication table. Then you are repeating the same action with a change. Then ultimately your task is performed. So by this, what you can understand, either in real life or in programming, we implement things mainly in three approaches: sequential approach, selection approach, and iterative approach. In this context, one very important technique or approach I have to explain to you, and that is called reusing code. In processing, by reusing code, we can save a lot of time. In case of a program, then it will be smaller. Otherwise, program will be too big. Just for example, I am telling you, you are writing a program. In that program, you have to write the addresses of candidates. You know that person's name is changed, address is changed. Then suppose each person's address take, let us say, 5 lines. So if we have to print the addresses of 10 candidates, then what happens? 10 into 5, 50 lines of code you have to write apart from other regular code. 50 lines you have to write. There are 100 candidates, 100 into 5, 500 lines you have to write. You have 500 lines you have to write. So it is tedious job, error prone. Programs will become too big. It is very inefficient. That's why reusing code is required. Reusing code, there are many ways. One of that is developing functions. In this chapter only, at the end I will explain what is function. A function is a subprogram, subroutine or subprogram. Then it performs a single identifiable job. Suppose you have created a function like this. What is its task? Print address. This is the task of the function. Okay. Its purpose is, you give the data, it prints the address in a formation. Okay. Now for every candidate, it already told you, it is a small program. For this also, IPO is there. It takes the data, it processes and outputs. So it is a small program. For this, for first candidate, you give the relevant data, it processes it and prints his address. And second candidate, same way. Third candidate, same way. Even million candidates are there, you can use the small function of 10 lines. Otherwise, million candidates means you have to write million into 5. 50 lakh code you have to write. So, that is the great importance of the reusing code. For reusing code, several measures are there in programming. This using functions is one of the measures, and this will be part of processing. By reusing code, we can simplify processing very easily, and the program will be highly readable. So, by this explanation, you can understand what are the basic building blocks of every program what we write.